Hello, and welcome back to another sunny day on Korthos Island for the start of another something new. This time around, it's going to be my main character, Fool's Gold, who was named after one of my favourite songs by a band called the Stone Roses. I have another one, Purple Haze, was also named after a song, and Red is the odd one out, my archer. He was named after the Ring of Red ruin, one of the earliest magical items I came across in the original D&D games. So yeah, I figured we haven't seen a standard caster druid. We've done the blight caster with purple, but we haven't seen the standard one going to the cap. And although I certainly wouldn't say it's the most the quickest or most efficient of journeys, it's not bad at all, and it's quite interesting for the fact that you go through several phases during the process. I suppose you could say some of the others do as well, like the sorcerers typically would start with fire, go to lightning, then go back to fire perhaps towards the end. Here we're going to start with no AoE whatsoever, and that's going to be for quite a few levels, I think, until we get the Flame Strike, the first AoE that we can lay hands on. So we're going to be relying on these single target SLAs. We've got Produce Flame here, nice quick cast, but damage wise, even with Maximize thrown on it, it's not amazing. I took the Maximize feat as the first feat. Creeping Cold, which if you didn't know, if you've never used these Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold damage over time abilities, as you can see there at the bottom in the description, it's saying first phase, second phase, third phase. These things are backloaded, so you have to leave them to tick and do the nastier damage towards the end of the damage over time. If you make the mistake, like I often do, of recasting them on the target, it resets the counter and they start doing the small damage again, so you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. Core Lightning, excellent single target Reaper deleter or other nasties deleter, great fun, but again only single target. Salt Ray, super nice spell. I had that on my bar all the time at the cap, the last time Fools was at the cap. Really nice, double the range, very quick casting time, stuns everything apart from Reapers. There might be the odd thing that it doesn't get, but very good that for just a quick oh heck, I didn't see that. Oh, have a stun. And of course, Word of Balance, the number one defense against said Reapers, because as they are, is it lawful evil, they're 2 steps away from true neutral, so they take a bashing from the Word of Balance. So very nice for leveling these. Some people like to keep them at the cap. I don't think I will. I don't imagine I would use any of the ones below the Word of Balance, so I'd be investing at least 5 points just to get a Word of Balance on a 20-second cooldown. Could be potentially useful against Reapers to have 2 copies of it, especially as this time around we're not going to have Ruins to help us. If any of you are interested, I did do a Caster Druid build guide back in the day with my character Fools. This won't be too dissimilar from that. I had in the past I've tested various things, but I tended to be tier 5 in Draconic. This time around we're not going to do that. We're going to test the Magus of the Eclipse epic tree, which I mean, in the cause you've got cold and force, spell power, and electric. Is he electric as well? No, I think it's cold and force, but still nice for our build. Cold and force are the 2 major ones for the cold caster druid, and I've never really gone into that tree, so we're going to have a good look into that. We're going to go tier 5 in there We're not going to do the ruins this time around. We're going to see how we go on. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the DC side of things. So we've shifted, pun half intended, away from Dragonborn and into the Wild Hunt Shifter race. Unlike Dragonborn, we will be able to have wisdom in our tree and also wisdom from our rages. Our rages as a Wild Hunt Shifter give us 4 wisdom and 4 dex. The dex will be nice too because I like to use evasion on this build. So a little bit of a change around. We're going to lose 30 cold spell power and a caster and max caster level from the Dragonborn tree, but we're gaining the Wild Hunt Shifter gets 1 wisdom anyway just for being that, plus the 2 you can have in here in the cause, plus another 4 for the rage bonus, so 7 in total. So we could have at least 3, maybe even 4 extra DCs to start with, so that could be interesting. And that kind of leads me into something I was going to discuss before we kick this one off. One of you mentioned in the comments a while back something along the lines of, oh, I can't even bring myself to log in. I don't think it was specifically lag related, because that is always a bit of a turn off, but I think it was just in general, maybe sort of same old. And I think one of the biggest things I would say to that is, I mean, the game is so wide in terms of the different classes and different builds for, within those classes. There's always something a bit different, a bit new to try. And maybe that's one of the things the series with Purple encouraged me to do myself. And that's why I have some longevity in the game. And the other reason is to try to kind of take things at my own pace. If I was to say to myself, oh, I've got to have these 3 lives done by this date, it just wouldn't work. You just go on when you feel like it and do as you feel. Mix things up. I have 3 characters, all with fairly different play styles, so that helps too. And sitting at the cap with at least one of them and doing some things up there is great also. I feel duty bound to report, Tom, if you're listening, this is a first for me. I went in the public raid on my own for the first time the other day. I did 4 or 5 raids with them. I won't say I wasn't nervous, because I totally was, but I don't think I fouled up too bad. I went in with my Artificer Red and he did okay. So and nobody complained, at least I don't think so. I managed to give everybody who needed it deadly weapons at the start, and then it was just a question of, right, who should I shoot or who should I not shoot? And I was very pleased with that. And he actually got only the second time he's ever run the Killing Time raid, he got a Chaos Bow out of there, which if he ever does go back to a standard bow build, that would be a serious candidate to use. Very nice bow, that one. Right, I've kind of digressed, haven't I? So the plan basically for this, I've done a little bit on the planner, but I'm flexible as well, open to if something doesn't work or if something seems to be lacking. So we're going to go 41 in the Season's Herald, obviously the caster tree. We're going to back it up with something like 20 plus 26 maybe in the Fade Arc for the Greater Colour Spray, which is our only defense against Reapers. We also have it's a good synergy with our build this. I think in the cause we get Force and Universal Spell Power. Force, as mentioned, is the second most important spell power for a cold druid, arguably, because that is in the Ice Flowers, which you spam all the time. Also Tsunami. If you take Ruins, obviously, it's even more of a synergy. And I was thinking about Arcane Pulse, because that would obviously synergize well with our build. and having lost ruins, maybe against bosses, Arcane Pulse could be a thing. But I don't know, to take something just for, just for the, because it would literally be only for the boss, or maybe a Doom Reaper or something like that. So very situational. I don't know. Maybe I should take something that benefits the build more in general. We'll see, and I'm sure we'll discuss in due time. So yeah, I'm thinking 41 here, 20 odd in Fade Arc. We've obviously got our points in Shifter. As we come able to do it, I would have maxed out this core area had I been able to, but as most of you will know, see there, it requires level 16 down there. So I'll put points in here as I'm able, or maybe I'll just leave it as is, and then when we hit 16 just respec it all together. Now for the moment, we still have some interesting bits. We've got longer lasting rages, which is essential, as the rages time go off your constitution, as I understand it, so they don't last too long for now. Eventually we can get a regenerating rage, so we should never run out during a quest. Extra constitution while raging, not terrible. Plus natural armor, that will probably be dumped in favour of extra stats and rage things when we get available down here. Plus to dodge while raging, that'll probably be dumped too, because I think we'll be capped on dodge. Augment summoning, that tells you how I plan to get around the fact that we only have this one little flame SLA as our offense at the moment. Yes, Terry, this is your moment, matey. I'm going to go in there with Byron. We've got our wolf, and we've also got a summonable wolf as well. So this is going to be the most hirelings I've ever shown. I don't look forward to it, but I guess needs must. It's either that or swing a weapon, and I really don't want to do that as a caster. So I'm going to be the healer backup caster to this lot and hope it goes okay. What have we got there? Extra spell points, and the most important bit there, immune to fatigue from the rages, and also cast while raging. So that's obviously very important. Going to try out this Howl of Terror at the top here. It's enchantment, so I don't envisage us ever having a particularly good DC on it, but we can try for nothing, can't we? See if we get any mileage out of it. It's our first and only bit of crowd control at the moment, so as we have points to spend in the tree, we might as well give it a go. That's where we're at with that. So past lives, epic feats. So we've got 1 point in the Fade Arc at the moment for the cat, which is 5 force and 5 universal power, so not terrible. Got 3 on all saves. Colours of the Queen, energy criticals, and for the martial one, skill mastery. Deep Gnome, iconic stance. When we get the colour spray, that'll help those DC. Now, interesting about the colour spray, at least to me, I've seen Bear Party colleagues with DC in the 70s for that, doing very well in Legendary Mid-Reaper with the greater colour spray. I don't know if there's a bug or what's happening there, but you don't seem to need that high of a DC to do well with that at all. Speaking of DC, I was watching somebody's Dragon Lord video the other day, and how overpowered is that thing? I think they were saying they had a DC in the 80s for that, in late heroic. I couldn't believe it. I mean, some people would be happy to have 80s DC in legendary content. So, I mean, God. Yeah, that is, I think everybody who's played it and commented on it, the word broken comes up quite often. So get in while it's still there and unnerfed, I guess. What else do I have to mention? Yes, I took the time to do the Chaos Mancer past lives with Fools. For any caster, it's a nice thing to do if you have access to the that iconic, because you end up with 18 for the three of them. You end up with 18 extra universal spell power because you're getting the 3 per stack of the Chaos Mancer plus 3 per stack of the Wild Mage class as well. So for the sake of 3 iconic lives, it's a nice little boost in spell power. But not only that, you then end up with this clickable wings. So for somebody, well, to have them from the start at level 1 is awesome. They don't recharge. It's only 3 per rest, but to have them from level 1 is amazing. Also, unlike something like the Purple Dragon iconic clickable, which puts your other, whatever iconic stance you're in on cooldown for the duration, for the full minute, I think it is, of the cooldown. This one doesn't. I've tested it, and it seems to leave the iconic stance alone. So it's a 10-second cooldown, I think. So if you happen to be being chased by an end boss or a Doom Reaper, this could be pretty good. And it means that maybe, I'd been going in the Exalted Angel tree, basically just for the wings out of there. I'm not saying it's still not a valid strategy, because it's the best wings in the game as far as I know, but it at least means that you have something like this. I wasn't a prolific user of the wings, just in times of dire straits, so to have these 3 there, when needed, to me is awesome. And it means I can go into other trees as planned. For the epic, I've got my eye on Draconic, Primal, and Magus as the main one. So we're gonna see how we go with that. Got all my little potions here. My trusty horse. Very proud of this unicorn that comes from one of the raids that I attended successfully. I'm wondering, actually, that's another thing. Having been in a few raids recently, you can't help but notice the composition of these raids. And when they say DPS, they basically just mean melee. so there's all these new dragon lords in there. There's monks, there's barbarians, the odd paladin, and you don't see very many. In fact, a friend of mine who plays a sorcerer was rejected from a legendary hard raid recently for based on class, I guess. So I think I might struggle to get in. I could switch some of the metas off and try and do some healing, because they're decent healers as well, aren't they, the druids? Maybe I could try and get into the odd one like that. I guess time will tell. So yes, I'm very pleased with the iconic Chaos past lives. The wings, very nice to have, and the extra spell power as well. Just with, gear wise, you can see I've got basically nothing on it. The trusty robe of invulnerability, fearsome robe of invulnerability, a little bit of fortification. I've got this circlet on. I showcased this in the items that you can pull from the what are they on the ship there? The pawn shop vendors, either on the ship or in the marketplace. So level 1, 20 potency isn't terrible. The wand I got for the beginner quest gives 30 equipment bonus to fire spell power, which is the only thing I'm using at the moment, fire. So at the moment we've got, where are we at? 88 on fire. It's not amazing, is it, by any means? In fact, positive is the best one. I think we must have some past lives giving a bit of positive power. Stats wise, I maxed con and wisdom. You can see we've got an extra point there in wisdom because of the Beasthide shifter. I put points into dex as well. Shifter actually starts with I think +2 in dex. It's nice to have some dex because, as mentioned, this is going to be an evasion build, so I'd like to push the dex as far as I can to make that relevant. Armor class, you can see, is ridiculous with the past lives he has stacked up. We're sitting here in robes and we have 59 AC at level 1, so that sort of illustrates the point I made once before about the past lives, in my opinion at least, being most impactful in the first few levels of the leveling process, because things are going to struggle to hit us with that. Spell points as well are quite inflated because we have some extras from the racial tree, don't we? So hopefully we won't have too many troubles. Well, we're going to be doing well to run out because it's only costing 3 a time, that one, isn't it? Spells I took, what did I take? Oh, Fairy Fire for the box breaking. That one is given automatically, the summon nature ally. So the only other one, I thought, with a view to keeping our hirelings in the game, I thought maybe lesser vigor could be a thing. I've got these potions of Cure Serious for us, because I think that'll probably do better at healing ourselves than will the lesser vigor. And I think that's about it for the waffle. You've heard my plans for the class. Let's just have a quick look at the character. He's hiding behind this Reaper shield. That's actually a starter shield, starter equipment wooden shield. I thought, why not? I don't have anything else to put in there, and it did give us a bit more AC and PRR. So he's hiding, as befits my antisocial nature, hiding underneath the boughs of the Korthos great tree. You'll notice the Go Faster stripes on the side there, and this monster hairdo. He's a proper lion this time around. Hopefully he'll play like one. Okay, shall we go down there and see about some questing? Right, so we did the Canith crystal. I just did that as a bit of a test. So we've got the Storehouse secret here. Yeah, hireling fans, enjoy this while it lasts, because this might be the first and last time we ever see this on the channel.
You can hear the telltale skittering of vermin nearby.
Just before I start, I have noted some of the comments about the poor sound. I'm really bad technically, so I don't know if the changes I made a difference, but I have tried with the software I use, the OBS, Open Broadcast software. I tried looking on Google for ways to improve the sound, and I have tested once or twice, just with my voice, and it seems to be a bit better. So let me know on that score, but hopefully it's a little bit clearer. I'm trying to speak up a little bit as well and not mumble. Maybe that might help a bit. Right, so summoning the troops. As mentioned, we've got Byron, who looks like he could tackle the whole thing on his own. Our trusty wolf companion. And another wolf companion. Okay, let's so just to show you, you can see the stats there. We trigger the rage. You can see the con goes up 3 because I have +3 in the shifter tree for con. For that I had to take that, but the dex and wisdom, you can see, have both gone up 4. And the rage is lasting at the moment just longer than 2 minutes, so not prolific by any means. I'll have to get a move on. I think we actually have some things in this room, don't we? Do we? Where are we? Somebody's fighting. Let's put them all on offensive. Ah, that's one thing straight away there. Immediate mistake. The produce flame, like plenty of other spells as well, needs to have a target. Needs to be targeted. So like there, I haven't specifically targeted that rat, and look, the thing just went into nowhere. You have to tab target and then hit it, and you'll do the business.
This appears to be the main
So it's a little bit clunky, but once you know about it, I think it's. Oh wow! Look at Byron, 60 odd damage. Why am I even in this quest?
A large silver key falls. A Sarhagan emerges from a hidden passage, demanding the key. You must
Has anybody taken any damage here? Wow, brutal. Oh, one thing I did forget, the Quiver of Alacrity my main character has. He got that, not from the raid, I'm afraid, from the, I think it was the 15th anniversary reward box. There was an option on this for any character that TRs regularly. It's just a very nice convenience item to stop you having to look round for speed items and that kind of thing. Even later on you still have to slot something for speed usually, so it's just nice in what is a redundant slot for many characters to have that there. Right, the shifters. Now I'm pleased to see that it does at least warn you when the shift has expired, so you know when to renew it. So unless it crits our little produce flame, it's not doing prodigious damage by any means, is it? That job is being left to our hirelings. Who I really should have moved so they weren't walking all over the puzzle. In case you're wondering what that is, that's the Eternal Wand of Flame. It does very little damage, maybe on elite 6 damage a hit, something like that. So not earth-shattering by any means. Right. I think you might give me a few more hit points, might you? Yep. Rugged belt, I'll take that. And yes, Brian, I know the inventory is already in chaos. What can I do? The TR system is just such a for me that I just throw everything in and call it good and let's go. I like to play, not it's Dungeons and Dragons online, not inventory management online. So I'll never be one of these with whole loads of characters dedicated to holding gear and all that kind of thing. No, just not for me.
Coming from deep in the crypt, you hear the strange and unsettling echoes.
Now then, I have to summon you.
And by the passage leading in, a grim-faced man
And a wolf. Okay. What could we have here? We could we can have a potion of heroism, can't we? We can have a stone skin, why not, at level 1. That's from the mysterious remnants thing. Total overkill. It's just nice in the first couple of levels, but if you're gonna get one, because these potions all put the others on cooldown, I would always go for the flask of free movement, eternal flask of freedom of movement. That's the one I would go for. The death ward is available on so many clickables. Stone skin, you can get stone skin ones if you really want it. The freedom of movement is not so widely available. So yeah, for things like the Grey Gals quest in Three Barrel Cove with those shaman and warlocks that like to cast hold on you, it can be life-saving. Okay.
Strange.
Only available, by the way, these
Notice
Eternal
something
Flasks
strange
on the
about the wall
Champion
to the
Hunter
west.
weekends, so look
If
out
you
for those
search
if
the
you're
wall, you
if
may
you are
discover more.
thinking about getting one. See, we didn't do an awful lot there with that one.
What were those
It's a good
cultists
job we've
up
got
to?
these hirelings
This
in
bit
here.
of treasure chest
I need
glimmered
to
in the
be...
dark
Maybe I
passage.
could use them to practice
There's a
if they
Sahuagin
start
in
taking
here,
damage to
performing some
practice
kind of
healing, because I
ritual.
think at least in raids
Dead son of
fools
Korthos,
will be
rise
healer
and
first and
rule
anything
my
else
living.
second.
The Sahuagin were using this vile... A magical crest appears from the destroyed altar.
Okay,
If you take it
purple
with
dragon
you,
boost.
it may be useful later.
Does that work on the
You
hirelings as
continue
well?
to hear
Looks like maybe
cultists about
so.
their evil work from further inside the crypt.
I haven't
As you
tried
slay
the
these foul
shout yet,
cultists,
the
prepare to keep
howl
your own
thing.
health. Another treasure chest. Perhaps the cultists brought it here, but
we
it's
give that a
yours.
go
There's
down
another
here?
Sahuagin. It croaks.
Crag wolf hated.
Yep, there we
In
go.
life you served the light, but in death you shall serve the devourer.
So that's on a relatively short cooldown, but does cost
These
quite a
devour-
lot
Another
of mana.
crest drops out as you smash the altar. There might still be other altars.
So because I've got
elsewhere
3
this
points in it,
crypt.
30 spell points, which is steep for a low level spell, and it's on a 29 will save. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. That. Where am I supposed to be going? I've lost my way now. I'm waffling on. Let's try it again down here. We got all 3 of them, so it's a nice area of effect. It's lasting, well, it'll last a bit longer in outside of Reaper. Does it cause helpless, I wonder, when it freezes them like that? That's interesting. Yeah, it's working quite nicely. If only I had something to damage them with. It's keeping me from having to heal my hirelings. I suppose this is one example of something relatively overpowered that you can... Does it work on undead? I bet it doesn't. No. Something relatively overpowered that you can use when you have sufficient racial points stacked up. Yeah, having those wings on any character, any build is just so nice.
You fit the last crest in place, and the magic shield dissipates.
Can we freeze the boss guy?
Spits out
Yes.
a venomous voice. These fools who would keep
Hirelings seem to be doing okay on their side, yeah.
Action saved Korthos and brought the Sahuagin's fell scheme to naught.
Okay.
Treasure chest in the antechamber is now yours.
Oh, do I need any ingredients? Requires Druid level 12, the good berry. Is that right? No, it can't be. I thought, no, it's a level 1 spell. It can't require level 12. I think that must be a... But aside from possibly that one, I don't think I need any ingredients for anything yet.
Hero. It is on
Might
the
as well
people's
put
lips
that
as
on.
you walk by. Cautious looks have become friendly nods. Then word comes that your presence is requested in the tavern.
Skills-wise, by the way, I had a low skill because shift to take a penalty to intelligence, and I didn't see a need to put any points in there. I had only 8 points to start with, and I split them between heal and spellcraft. Moving forward, I'd like to put some in diplomacy, because I like to be able to do that very high check in the Feywild. I think it's 100 and maybe 120 you've got to get around for no fail. So I've got some equipment that helps with that, but we'll need some points in Diplo as well. And possibly some balance, or maybe spot, maybe both. I think jump should be fine because we've got a spell for that. Don't think there's too much of anything. UMD, maybe a couple of points in there. We've got a UMD tome, so I think we'll be reasonable with that. Summon the troops. Oh, it's still calling this a public area, okay. Oh, of course it is, we're not in the quest, you muppet. Oh, the wolf's already in the do you know?
Your waiting bears fruit. This must be the collaborator stepping in from the dark.
I should have mentioned, Fools has 3 Druid past lives, so in addition to that augment summoning, these summons, at least at this very early level, should be fairly reasonable. As I was mentioning to one of you in the YouTube comments a while back, there are epic enhancements as well that you can get. The ones I'm thinking of are in Primal and Magus, both of which we plan to go into. But I'm afraid I won't be investing in summons, it's just not me. Wow, look at that. He's a beast, isn't he? He's absolutely tearing it up. Now, Wolf took a bit of damage. Let's give him a bit of a heal there.
Gathering outside for a final assault. You notice
When I said a bit, it really was a bit, wasn't it? It was ticking for like 2 and 3 points, that. I seem to have forgotten our Howl of Terror here. Very remiss of me, considering there were 2 and 3 targets, and we do have spell points to burn. Right, let's go for it here. Did we get? Oh, we got one behind us there, but one of them we missed. Crikey, Brandon, you don't need me in the quest, so the wolf needs healing.
He must have fled into the cellar. Drexelhand isn't here. The chamber beyond the secret passage looks ancient.
How did we see the... I don't think I have any equipment with true sight on it. How did we see the secret passage? In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't. Does one of these have a true sight? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm really not doing much to help, am I? So this is what I meant, Doc, when I said that if you were to have come in here with a warlock, you would have been far from useless. You would have been carrying me through the first level or 3. Let's get this shouty thing done. That's it. I'm tempted to think that they are made helpless by that, because they seem to be taking quite a hammering when they're stopped like that. I wonder if there's some mileage in this. Certainly for leveling, I'm not expecting to enchant at all. So for later use, I don't think so.
Drexelhand has nowhere left to run. Finish the job.
What type of save is it? It's a will save. That's interesting too. I'm wondering if it happens to work on Reapers, this thing.
Drexelhand thought that siding with the Sarhagen would save him.
Okay, I'm being a bit remiss with my healing here. Oh, it worked on him too. Yes, happy days. Level 1 crowd control for the win. Now, if I hadn't had access to that, which is looking really good for us, isn't it? I would have seriously considered investing in the level 1 spell Entangle, which the Druids get. Where are we going now? I think that's it for level 1, isn't it? That's it. Job done. Okay, I'm sure I'll have missed something somewhere, but I'm equally sure I've waffled along for too long anyway. Looking at these rages, we're not going to be able to keep the rage going through whole quests, are we? Anything but these newbie starter quests, and we're going to be struggling. So we are going to need the extra rages from the bottom of the shifter tree eventually. I was thinking at the start, looking at all this, I was thinking, oh well, there's nothing grossly overpowered that's going to really tip the balance in our favour to start with. Having seen what that howl thing can do, maybe I was wrong. Because if it can stop a pack of things like that, then it could be happy days. I was thinking of things like the Tiefling Scorch ability. You get that from level 1 and it's just rock and roll, isn't it? AoE. The Dragonborn to a lesser extent, because it's on a long cooldown and it's a bit clunky, that breath weapon. It can sort of pop out sideways to the direction you're facing. The Tiefling one definitely. But I was looking at this thinking, oh, it's just an investment in our future, really. Extra casting DCs and that. But maybe this Howl thing has a future for us. It's a base 18 plus Wisdom. Now, enchant bonus, although we don't have anything directly, our end game gear has spell focus mastery and plenty of it, so that'll affect all schools. I just wonder if that might be a thing later on. I guess time will tell. Okay, plenty of food for thought then, and yeah, experimenting. It's always nice to try new things in the game. Thanks very much as always for looking, and I'll speak to you next time. Take care.